Hi, this is Lady Lex UK, and this is take 2 of Santa's house invasion. I made a video previously, and then I discovered that all the sound effects, the entire desktop audio was completely missing from my video, so it made the game appear really boring and quite rubbish, really. So let me go again. We should get sound this time round. Okay, so Santa's House Invasion. This was a game jam for 2017. Danny set a challenge for people to make a Christmas level. I made one. This was a top-down collection adventure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it through with some commentary, and then we'll have a look a little bit behind the scenes at some of the code. So, Santa's House Invasion. It's Christmas Eve and Santa is collecting gifts for the sleigh, but the rooms feel colder than normal. There must be intruders. Collect the gifts and defeat the house invaders. So here's Santa here, and it's a top-down view. With cameras that shift as you go from room to room. You've got to collect the toys, the gifts, these gift boxes. Each room has been individually made, and I've tried to make them look good from the top down. So here's Santa's office. Go through here, and there's some goblins playing a board game. Well, it is Christmas. And then we'll go down into the dungeon area, and we have our first intruder, which is a snowman. I can throw snowballs at him like so. Come on. And the snowball ends up as a pile of water. And music starts up. You've got fighting music when he's being attacked. I can punch him as well. Actually, punching is probably nicer. I want to go into the other room, do we? Right. Go. Throw the snowballs. I never made a top-down game before this. This is my first one. Christmas. There we go. Merry Christmas. And I had a lot of fun making this. It was like creating a doll's house, actually. All the furniture and everything. So the idea is you've got to collect all of the gifts. There's 60 of them to collect, while also attacking the snowmen as they are scattered around your house. I tried to have a variety of different floors, rooms, furniture, different. Each room had a proper purpose. So you can see what they were. So here we are, as all the letters to Santa all stacked up. And there's bookcases and tables and carpets. You know where there's a snowman because the rumbling fighting music starts. Which of course you couldn't hear in the video I did last time. That's it, get him in the corner. Some of this furniture and trees and things are made by other sparkers, so that this Christmas tree is one of Rapture's Christmas trees, and this furniture aboard somebody else's level. I actually used, it was actually made for me. I asked Scotty the dog to make me some furniture, and that's what he came up with. Some really lovely furniture that he made for my Murderers Random game, which I never finished. I really ought to get round to doing that. There we go. So there's Santa's bedroom. It's really nice to be able to still make things in Project Spark, even though other people can't play it. I mean, my entire family have played this. As I was quite pleased with the result. I mean, it's not the most taxing of games, but I love the way it looks. And you could also make things a lot harder than I have done here. So there's my conveyor belt. So the teddies go in here, they go along on the conveyor, and then they get wrapped up into boxes. I quite like that. I think that's good. Right, and now we're outside. More of Rapture's lovely trees. And more snowmen to collect. I say collect. Kill! More snowmen to kill. And I need one more gift box, which is out here somewhere. Oh, somebody liked my screenshot. How nice.
Merry Christmas.
Yay. There we go. I've collected the last present, so I've now go to my sleigh. There's my reindeer. And in we go. It's not a very long game, it's a little short game. There we go, and there's Santa in his magic sleigh with flying reindeer. There we go. Right, so there was my game. Hope you enjoyed that. Now let's have a look and see how things were done. So, I'll just hover over the top of it. As you can see, here is a layout of the house and the garden, and every single room has a camera above it. I think you can see here like this, and that has 4 corners on. And the camera itself just has, when the Santa character is in the trigger zone, you got a first person camera without controls, transition easing with a 1 second transition time. And what that does is that every time you get into a new transition zone, the camera will swap, and it will take 1 second, so it will slide across, slowly across to the next camera. And then you get that movement backwards and forwards. And here we have a trigger zone, so you can see the trigger zone is the same size as we have these squares here just to make it nice and easy, so you can see the size of the transition zone. These logic squares actually don't do anything. They're just there as markers so that you know how big the room needs to be. So that's how the transition movement works. My snowmen are based on the Scarecrow Birdie, and they're all attached to that, and it's got its own special death animation. So when it starts to die, then it changes its position, and then it creates some special effects of a pool as it's dying, which the pool then grows. There's a splash, then you destroy the pool. So the pool gets a little bit bigger as he sinks down into the ground, and that position Y coordinate moves the snowman down so it looks like he's melting. So there you go. That's my snowmen. Everything else pretty self-explanatory, I would guess. The room furniture and everything, as you can see, these rooms look perfectly good. If I there's no walls. You don't need walls. You just need a little bit at the bottom, so when you look down, you can see that there are walls, but then they're not really. They're very quite low. They don't need to be very high. And the doors and everything. So there's no ceilings, no walls. You just have sort of a low area, and that does the job. Apart from down here, because obviously this is the dungeon area and it's all sunken in. So there's some walls here for these, but on the surface of the ground, there you go. You don't need. So you can see that I dug out this area to make the dungeon, and I made sure that the water level was set so that it looked like it's just got a pool effect, and the water level is just touching the base floor there, so it looks like it's a little bit damp. And you can do colouring. You put a little bit of colouring, a bit of grass here and there, just to make it look like mould. Just a touch, do it very lightly, and that's quite a good effect. We've got some various furniture here, beds and wardrobes. There's a chest of drawers there. Now these beds, you will notice in the game they were all multicoloured. This code is done like this. You start off with a timer, which is the X coordinate, and is the X coordinate of the bed. Here's the bed I made with some benches. So the countdown timer uses that X coordinate in frames. So it creates a random number after a certain amount of time based on where the bed is situated. Now this might be a bit complicated. In order to get a truly random number, if you picked a random number at exactly the same time in the game, it would create the same random number. It doesn't matter how many brains you've got it in, it's going to create the same random number. So in order to be different, I've used the X coordinate of the bed in order to make this random number pick slightly different for each of those beds. So then it creates a random number, which creates a random hue, which changes the primary colour of this bed. And I needed two sides of the bed. So this one is one upside down, and all this does here is it's attached to the bed on the left, and its primary colour is the same as the primary colour on the bed on the left. So it's got the same colour both sides of the bed. So that's how I did a random colour for each of the beds. So every time you go into that room, it's going to be a slightly different colour combination. They're all going to be slightly different than they were before. And there we go. We got some furniture here. The conveyor belt, as you can see, this is made using terrain. You get the terrain to move, and I've created the checkerboard pattern, and I've coloured it so that it looks like a conveyor. So you don't need to do any odd movement whatsoever, and these toys drop down onto the conveyor, and they're destroyed at this point, and then this box is then created, which goes along and then falls into this at the end. There we go. The reindeer, I believe these are made by. I've altered these. These are somebody else's horse. It's got the dog's horse, I think. So I've altered slightly to make them more reindeer-like. Put some horns on their head, etc. And they are actually attached to Kia models to give them some sort of idle animation movement, so that they don't just stand there. They've got some sort of floaty movement, so they look a little bit more alive. And then we've got the sleigh. And Santa himself, here is our cutscene. He travels along a path, and there's the sleigh there. And special effects and what have you are playing. And we've got cameras and what have you to create various cutscenes, etc. So there we go. I was going to write out the words Santa in the snow, and then changed my mind. So there you go. There is Santa's House Invasion. If there's anything in there that you're interested in, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and help you out with the code. There you go. Have a go at making a Christmas level for this year. I've made a Christmas village, which I'm going to be unveiling on December the 1st. And I think there's some other people who are also going to be making some Christmas villages. I look forward to seeing those. So have a really good Christmas. And if you've got Project Spark, make something Christmassy. We'd all love to see it. There's plenty of snow effects and things that you can make. Have a go at making Christmas trees. They're quite fun. You can make them out of all sorts of things. You'd be surprised. Okay, thanks for watching, and keep sparking.